couple things I've been experiencing in the last couple weeks is business owners getting frustrated with employees not doing things and having a frustration and generally assuming that employees don't care or it's not a big deal to them. And what I find is that we make assumptions as business owners that lead us down a wrong path. There's generally two reasons why we in life and in business and in our jobs and relationships and all kinds of things don't do things. One is we perceive there's a compelling reason not to. If I deal with this thing, it's going to put me in a situation where I have to address a fear I have. I just don't feel like it today. We have these compelling things that we feel tell us it's better not to do something. That absolutely exists. And the other reason we don't do things is because we don't know how. And business owners generally assume that people don't do things, their employees don't do things because they don't want to, they don't care enough, it's not their business, so it's not their problem. When oftentimes they're misdiagnosing that and the employees don't know how to do it. And that's never addressed, so the employees never do it because they don't know how. The business owner doesn't connect the dots that they don't understand how to do something, and they're operating the entire time under the idea or the notion that they don't care. And so that's never resolved. And so it creates this cycle where the business owner is continually getting more frustrated, more angry, more desperate to get them to understand how important this is, but they never really address how to do it. And so we just continue this cycle and things get worse and worse and worse because we're not addressing the right problem. So I come in is helping people diagnose what the particular problem is. So for example, one of the frameworks I start with people in the very beginning is a very simple what, why, how framework. So for example, this is a simple and easy way in those moments where we're frustrated, we don't know what to do, we're on the verge of either pleading or begging or firing people to get compliance. Stop in those moments, what, why, how. If we can remember that basic framework, we have a strategy we can work with in the moment. And how it works is this. What? What is the goal? What is my vision of success? If the employee cannot articulate in their own words, in a way that lets me know they know what we're aiming for, then nothing else matters. We cannot move on until they can explain what the goal is. So for example, if we're talking about we need more sales or less warranty work, well, what specifically does that mean? How much more sales? Not just more sales. What specifically are we aiming for? What tells us we're successful? Is it a 7% increase in sales? Is it going from 77% to 92%? What does success look like? What is the goal? What is the vision of success? If they can't explain that, they're not going to do it because they don't know what the goal is. So the first thing is we have to establish the what. Once we have the what established, once they say here's what the goal is that we all agree upon using their own words, not just recycling back what I've said, then we can move on to the why. Same thing, if they cannot explain the why, if they can't explain why this matters, if they can't explain what the stakes are, if they can't explain what the consequences are if we get this wrong or what the benefits are if we get it right, then there's no point in moving on to the how because they're not going to be compelled to do it if they don't understand why it matters. So, same thing as the what, if they cannot express in their own words why this matters, what are the consequences for the individuals or the company as a collective, if they can't explain what the consequences are for not doing it or for failing, or they can't explain the gains and the benefits if we do it successfully, then nothing else matters. And we have to solve that problem before we move on to the how. What generally happens is we assume they know the what, we assume they know the why, we focus on the how, or we assume that they just don't care and we never move off of the why. So then once we know that they understand what the goal is, they understand why it matters, then we can assess, do you know how to do this? So that's a more basic framework. Later on I would help them with more sophisticated things. There's really 6 reasons why people don't do things. That's a little complicated to jump into first thing. But essentially the what and the why are the most common reasons people don't do things. They don't understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish. And the example I use is, imagine if I came to your home and you had a recipe that you really like to make. Let's say it's spaghetti sauce, right? Your favorite thing to make is spaghetti sauce. You pride yourself on how good your spaghetti sauce is, and it's really important to you that I like it. And you say, we have dinner, we eat the spaghetti, and you say, how was it? And I say, well, you should make better spaghetti sauce. For most people, the first thing you're going to say is, well, how did I do that? And if I just said, it just needs to be better, and never explain, like, does it need more garlic? Does it need less salt? That's going to be increasingly frustrating if you care about my opinion about your spaghetti sauce. What we do in business is we don't explain the how. We just say we need more revenue, we need less warranty work, we need fewer recalls, we need more customers, more of this, less of that, and we talk in those general terms, and we never really get to the how. We never verify that we're on the same page and what's our approach to this. And that also creates a tremendous amount of frustration. So the employees keep being told we need to be better, but they don't know how. And the business owner sometimes doesn't know how. Sometimes they do, and they assume the employees know also, and sometimes they don't know, and they're afraid to tell people they don't know, in which case we never develop the how. So where I come in is I help people diagnose where is the disconnect here. But this is a very simple framework they can do on their own. If you find yourself in those situations, what, why, how? Can the employees explain what we're trying to do? Can they explain why it matters? And can they explain how we're supposed to accomplish this in a way that lets me know that we're all on the same page? And if the answer to those questions is no, then there's no point in getting frustrated. We just have to diagnose which of those things in order is the right one to be focusing our attention on and take action on it. So let me give a simple real life example that applies to many clients. Many times people, business owners, business operators, managers, find themselves in a situation where they want more revenue, or they want less warranty work, or they want more efficiency. They want a process to be followed more often. Those kinds of terms are thrown out a lot. We don't generally spend a lot of time as business owners clarifying what we mean. We operate on this assumption that everybody knows what we mean. And then they don't, and we get wildly frustrated. So let's just take the more revenue, because that's maybe the most broadly applicable. Everybody wants more revenue. Everybody wants more sales, more customers, more opportunities to sell their products or services. That's pretty universal. So in the business world, what that would look like is a sales manager or business owner telling people, we need more sales, we need more sales, we need more sales, but not really ever explaining what specifically do we mean by that. Do we mean more add-on sales? Do we need more? Do we need to increase our close rate? Do we need to increase the number of opportunities we have? What do we mean when we say more sales? What specifically are we talking about? And if we don't clarify and let people know in the meeting we're having or one-on-one, here's how it relates to you. If we talk to 40 people in the company, if we had a 40-person company, we tell everybody we need more sales, and we don't clarify what that means and how we're going to go about that, they're all going to assume you're talking to somebody else because they don't know what you're talking about. They don't know how this applies to them. If we can't say, we need more sales, and what I mean by that is we need to take our close rate from 77% to 87%. Those are the kinds of things that would be helpful for people to know, because then they can contextualize that and know that it's something that's within their realm of responsibility.